Happy to meet you. My name is Dea, and this is my dear partner, Swan.
Really nice to meet you.
Our team name is Potential. Not only my potential, but also your potential. And we are here to make a presentation on a topic, motivation. The word motivation sounds serious, I know. But you don't need to worry too much, because first of all, there's a small interesting story of Swan.
Thank you. Approximately 2 years ago, at the time, I went to the United Kingdom to study English. To be honest with you, actually, I have to say my English was really awful. Much more awful than right now, so you can imagine. And especially, I want to say it was like baby, so a baby-like English. So especially, the worst parts of my English were speaking and listening. It was serious. When I started my first class in the UK, at the time I was seriously nervous and scared stiff, so that's why I was in a panic, seriously. But fortunately or unfortunately, my classmates and my teacher had a great conversation and discussion about our brilliant country, Korea. So I was seriously stressed and painfully worried about that. There would be lots of questions for me. Very scared. So, after the discussion, fortunately, there were no questions. Phew. But the reason is really interesting because the topic was not actually Korea, but Korea. So, I know it's silly, but it's true story, don't giggle at me too much. So, at the time I was seriously shocked and I felt shame for myself. And at the time I thought, I must improve my English a lot. It means I have to have a passionate motivation for English. Passionate motivation for English? We all know what English is. But how about motivation? It's quite difficult, isn't it? Is it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's why, my dear partner Deha, there is a small but very important question to you. Do you know what is the exact meaning of motivation?
Of course I know.
That's what I mean.
Let me explain about it. Even though the meaning of the motivation is very broad, I have to say briefly because our time is limited. In a dictionary, the meaning of the motivation is psychological origin of human activity. It is stimulation of the human mind to start something. From now on, Son and I will classify the motivation a little more deeply. And also, we will talk about motivation and study English with our personal story. My story is first. For certain, I'm not a kind of perfect English speaker. But I believe I speak English quite fluently as a Korean.
True.
Thank you. At least I'm not afraid of speaking English or communicate with native speakers. Do you know why? Because I have my own special motivation and confidence. I have a strong desire to know about other culture. Also, I have plenty of curiosity about new experience. This is my motivation to keep studying English. But sadly, people, in general, English is a subject that is mostly studied for examination in Korea. Their ultimate objective is get a high score or get a job. But you know, after examination, everything will be gone because for them, English is not an enjoyable subject, but sadly, unfortunately, just their old enemy. But in my case, ladies and gentlemen, English is a very joyful toy to understand and learn about the other country more deeply. Considering that, we can realize motivation can help us to continue our English study, not just for examination, but also we can take plenty of chance to enjoy English. Eventually, we can learn about other culture and improve our English. Suddenly, I have a little curiosity about my dear partner Swan.
Yeah.
Swan, I've never heard about your own motivation.
Oh, mine.
Yeah, could you let me know, please?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. The best question ever. Is there anyone? Is there someone who knows the answer? Really? Say. I know it's quite difficult. Actually, my motivation to improve English is actually to be a wonderful businessman around the globe. So that's why English is not just necessary for me, but totally essential. And the motivation of mine made my English really unbelievably better. So from now on, I want to say why motivation is the most crucial factor. On the screen, there are 4 keywords, and there is the answer. Motivation, attitude, action, and the result. See the result first. Nowadays, almost all people have a strong tendency to think about just only the result. But it's very irrational and also very dangerous. Because the result cannot be always successful, and in other words, it's not always attainable. So, there is one thing only which is really always attainable. I want to really emphasize on this one is motivation. Something wrong. That's okay. I'll keep going. And the brilliant and the enthusiastic motivation will cause. Maybe this one is very nervous, so sometimes it's not working. Please understand. Yeah, will cause the attitude, and the desirable attitude will cause plenty of meaningful actions, not just speaking about that. And finally, we can see the brilliant result. It means you guys can reach the full potential. It's absolutely relevant to English as well. So we might as well first to ask ourselves what is our main and the crucial motivation to study English. And then, after finding the motivation, we can just set up attitude and actions really appropriately, and finally we can reach our brilliant goals. There is no doubt, intense motivation makes you far better.
So far, we've talked about the motivation to improve our English. I have spoken about my own special motivation and how I am able to enjoy other culture through English. Sung has spoken about his own motivation to be a great communicator, and also he explained the main reason why motivation is most important factor in our life.
And finally, we want to finish our presentation with a famous saying by Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time you fall. Don't forget that. And do not worry about really too much to make any mistakes. It doesn't really matter. With your enthusiastic motivation, do it slowly but continuously. Please do not see your current ability, but do believe your full potential in the future. And finally, I believe you guys will achieve everything really we are looking forward to. Finally, we want to say just only one thing. Let's
See you at the top.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.